I'm Nick. Welcome to All Our Questions, where I search the internet for questions we all want answers to, and I answer them. Today, I'm going to answer the question of why your feet stink, and I'm going to tell you what you can do to fix it, just so you can take care of your funky feet, or you can help somebody else who has funky feet. And we're starting right now. Your feet have about 250,000 sweat glands, and those sweat glands produce about 1 cup of sweat per day. Disgusting, right? But here's the thing. Our bodies have 2 types of sweat glands. We have apocrine glands and we have eccrine glands. Apocrine glands are usually found in places around hair. For example, you would have them on your head, in your armpits, in your pubic areas, and anywhere else that you have hair. These glands usually produce sweat in response to stresses. When the bacteria on your skin digests this sweat, it causes body odor. But here's the thing. You don't have apocrine glands on your feet. Eccrine glands, however, are located all over your body, including your feet. But the sweat that comes from the eccrine glands on your feet, it's actually just salt and water, really. It doesn't have its own nasty odor that you associate with funky feet. But there's also bacteria down there. These bacteria go by the names of Staphylococcus epidermidis. It's a mouthful, right? And Bacillus subtilis. These guys love hanging out in damp, warm environments and eating the amino acids and leucine produced by the eccrine glands on your feet. When these bacteria eat the leucine, they create their own byproduct called isovaleric acid. This acid is what makes your feet stink. But wait, there's more. There's another bacteria hanging out down there, and this one goes by the name of Brevibacterium. And Brevi doesn't really care if your feet are sweaty or not, because Brevi likes to eat dead, dry skin cells off your feet. When Brevi's digesting your skin, an odor is created as it converts amino acids into methanethiol. And the smell of methanethiol has been associated with the smell of rotten eggs. Yuck. So if that's what causes your feet to stink, how do we fix it? To start, you can use something called a pumice stone on your feet when you're in the shower. If you're not familiar with what a pumice stone is, basically you can think of it kind of like a heavy grit sandpaper that you rub on your feet when you're taking a shower. And when you use this, it basically just shreds off all of the dead, dry skin cells on your feet. You can get pumice stones at most Walmart type stores, Walgreens and things like that. But I'll also put a link down in the description to where you can find some on Amazon if you just want to order some. The reason that you want to use these is because if you use a pumice stone on your feet and you keep your feet moisturized, you're basically cutting off of the food supply to the Brevibacteria. Next, you're going to need a pair of shoes that allow the air to circulate inside. You're also going to need a pair of clean socks made out of cotton, hemp, or wool. As a side note, and a little bit of personal information, I live in Thailand and it gets very hot and very humid here. And because of that, sweat is a serious problem that you have to deal with a lot. My brother, who somehow always seems to figure this stuff out before I do, recommended to me that I pick up a pair of dry fit socks by Nike. And I have to say, I picked up 1 pair, and after I wore them for a day, I went back and I got a big stack of dry fit socks because these things are amazing for keeping your feet dry and helping keep the smell out of your shoes. And of course, I'll put links to everything that I'm talking about down in the description below so that you can quickly and easily find all the stuff that I'm talking about. Another thing to make sure that you do is when you take your shoes off when you get home, don't put them in any kind of shoe box or into a closet or anything like that. Let them stay out in the open so that they can air dry, and that helps get all the moisture out of there, which makes it more difficult for some of the bacteria to survive. You can also soak your feet in tea, Epsom salts, baking soda, which creates an alkaline environment that bacteria don't like. Mix that with some essential oil like lavender, which smells fantastic, but also has some antibacterial properties. And then once you have the baking powder and a few drops of that lavender mixed up, you can sprinkle it into your shoes and onto your feet, and that's been known to help as well. If you want to get really experimental, sometimes it helps some people if you take antiperspirant deodorant and instead of putting it in your armpits, you put it on your feet. And of course, like everything else, technology in this situation is going to be our secret weapon because, shoe inserts and powders and sprays, all of that stuff can help if you have funky feet. So it's definitely something that you need to look into. Now, if you try all of this and your feet are still funky, you might want to see a doctor because they can prescribe some prescription grade antibacterial and antiperspirant stuff that might be able to help you out a little bit more than the things that you can get over the counter or natural remedies. But that is why your feet stink and how to fix it. If you have a question you want answered, just use the hashtag AskAOQ down in the comments below and I'll see what I can do. If you know somebody who has stinky feet, make sure to share this video with them. I'm sure they'll appreciate it. Maybe after a few laughs, but they'll appreciate it. And of course, if you're not already subscribed, make sure to hit the subscribe button somewhere on this page so you can get more answers to all our questions. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.